Got some shiny parts. New stuff came in. This is the Sloppy Stage 3. And this is not an Elgin. This is one of the Yuli or something. Just kind of looking it over. You can see where it's like been heat treated and stuff. Or maybe welded together, I don't know. I don't know how good this cam is. Like how well it's assembled, you know. Looking down the center, it looks like it was two pieces. You can see like a weird offset. It's hollow. So we're gonna try it. $143, I think it was. First part gonna go in. I don't think so. There we go, nice and smooth so far. One more. That's it, she's home. Alright, so this is, I guess it's Melling that sells this thing. That's the part number there if you want to, you know, pause and, so what this does is, we got our old trusty cam retainer here with, you know, a brand new seal and all this. This goes on here. Let's make sure this is clean. Yep. Alright, this goes on here. And then we take this little guy, this bracket here. So what I've had to do, what the instructions tell you, and I guess depending on your setup, these bushings are inside this from the factory. This is a factory part meant to just go right here for the, like, I guess fourth generation engines. You got to push these out, and I guess these are the bolts that would have went with it. But you push those out, you put in these special washers and these nuts that come with this. This battery died. Well, we're back. We got the crank main bearings are in, halves, and getting ready to drop the crank in this thing. All right. So it is what it is. Inners and outers 15 foot-pounds, final pass, inner bolts 80 degrees, outer bolts 51 degrees. Then the side bolts just go in at 18 foot-pounds. We've got a heck of a rainy day outside. I actually came home from work early today because I work outside and, you know, I don't want to get wet, so. Let's see. We got the crank in this, we got the cam in this, we did the timing chain, we did this little guide in here. I'm about to put the pistons in. I just went ahead and gapped all the rings. I got, you know, all the rings in here. I gapped them all at 22 on the bottom, 24 on the top. And did that with my homemade, I mean, it's just a Dremel with a cutting wheel. One of these, what do you call them? The crudest way you can. Actually, that same wheel is what comes on like the hand crank one you get from like Jegs. But it's just faster, maybe a little too fast, I don't know. Anyway, I got these all cleaned up. They're all free. We're gonna put rings on them and slide them in their holes and put these heads on. Oh, the heads, I got the heads done. I didn't record none of this because I know it's boring, but I hand lapped the valves, hand lapped all the valves, and I got the PAC 1218 springs in here, factory caps, factory retainers. You know, that's what they're meant to be. You're not supposed to be, you're not supposed to put all kinds of extra. Remember, we used to use titanium stuff and all that, blah, 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 whatever. If it drops a valve, whatever, who cares? I got the Michigan Motorsports. These are actually factory length, but they are chromoly instead of whatever the heck the factory ones are made out of. Got them over here. Anyway, I'm going to start putting all these rings on these pistons and start dropping them in, start torquing them down. I only got one of these. I dealt with this last time when I bought new bolts. Here it is. I got one of them is rounded off. I don't know what happened to it there. Last time with the other engine that this happened, I had to get all new bolts. That one's a little boogered up too. I thought I saved the other ones because I could just use them on this, but apparently not. I don't know what I did with them. So if I can't get that to torque down, I'm gonna have to buy new rod bolts, which, you know, I did it once before, so I'll have to do it again. Anyway, let me get started on this, and I'll cut the camera back on when I got them sunk in the holes and ready to torque some heads down. Plugging away, we got I got two of them in. You always want to do two next to each other before you tighten them down and torque them. You never want one, you know, because it can twist. But two front ones are in. I'm about to move over here to these next ones. The way I'm doing this, I've got on this LS Tech, I got the old style. So first design, 15 foot-pounds. Can you see this? Probably not. 15 foot-pounds and then 60 degrees. So I'm getting my 15 foot-pounds off of the 3/8. It's my cat. Getting the 15 foot-pounds off of the 3/8 drive ratchet. This is a gear wrench, nothing special about it. And then the degrees, I'm using this, which is this is right from the auto parts store. Running it to 60 degrees, and then you know, doing what they're saying. I had to use an adapter and an 11 millimeter, which this is a 6-point, or I'm sorry, a 12-point. I'm going to do, what I've decided to do is I'm going to install all the ones that don't have a problem with the connecting rod bolts. And the two that do have a problem, I'm going to put them in the very last one. Because if I have a problem tightening them down at that point, I think it was this one. Yeah, this one. Then it is what it is, you know what I mean? Which, honestly, it's like one bolt here and one bolt here. I might just move that one bolt so just the one piston has, which I'm gonna have to buy a whole new set anyway. It kind of pisses me off. I don't know, we'll see. If I can get it to tighten down, more power to me. I don't know, now that I'm looking at it, it actually don't look that bad. We'll see. These are real finicky. It's an 11 millimeter. But I'm gonna keep on plugging away at it. Now, which one? Oh, this one. Jeez, I just set it down. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. If I can get it to tighten down, more power to me. If not, I'll worry about it then. But I'm going to do these other 4, you know, and get it to where I got it somewhat together, and then we'll worry about it then. So I don't know. I would set the camera up so you can watch me, but it's like, it's a lot to edit, you know, 45 minutes worth of video footage, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to turn it off and then turn it back on when I got some more done. I know you guys like watching what I'm doing, but this is boring. Very boring, but we'll get it. I'm going to put these other ones in, and we'll keep on going. Figured I'd let you watch me put one together, why not? So we got a gap here. This little point goes forward. I always put this to the top. And then these gaps, I crisscross them. So this gap's gonna go this way. And I wanna start it, the way these are made at the very bottom, those rings hold this in. So you wanna get one end here, because if you don't, it'll wanna overlap. So you want to get one end here and close this as soon as you can, and walk it around. That's it. And then the other end I'll put to the other direction. It's just how I do it. It's probably wrong. Somebody's going to probably comment, you put your oil rings on wrong. But, you know, you can go online and it'll tell you all the different positions to put everything and why, blah, blah, blah. All right, next up is, when I gap the rings, each ring is sized to each cylinder in case they're different. There's one of these with a lip on it. So this is the upper one. There's a dot here, no, right here, that's the top ring. This is the bottom ring. This goes on like this. Bottom ring. Top ring. And I clock them away from each other. I messed that up, shit. Okay. Oh. I lost my, there we go. Okay, so one's forward, one's backward. Then I got old cheapo here. Old trusty has never done me wrong. I'll go down so the bands are covering the rings. Another reason you go down with this, it has these little things cut into it. That's what stops this from falling into the cylinder. They're every quarter or so. So I'll do that, just kind of make sure everything's locked in place here. That's it. Let's go over to the block, we'll hammer this one in. See if I can do this without knocking the camera over. So I got the block tilted so this is flat, it's facing up. When this rod goes in, it's going to hang like this. It's not going to drag on anything unless I purposely force it. And front of the block's this way, so my dot's over here. Take the end of the hammer here. Tappy tap tap. And then I walk the connecting rod onto the crank. Next, I flip the engine upside down, put the cap on. An important thing to note here, these are crack fit, they crack them apart. You have to match them. You can't have them backwards, otherwise they'll never fit together. So, right here, that's a definite, you know, spot where you can tell it was cracked at. Sorry for the shaking, by the way. I'm going to snug these down here. And that's pretty much as far as I'm going to go. Like I said, you don't do nothing until 2 of them are on. I'm going to do the second one, then I'll torque everything. So let's get the second one going. Okay, so one more time, we're going to put these on. Just like I did the other one. Sometimes these are a pain to walk on. There we go. I'm going to go retrieve the rings out of the board. Here's my rings. Again, make sure I know which is which. That's a bottom ring. That's the top ring. So that's the bottom of the bottom ring. One thing I check here, I squeeze them a little bit, push these gaps together, and just make sure that it doesn't get caught up. Sometimes when you size the rings, it puts a little burr on the end, and it'll get stuck. You see how that one is kind of? There we go. So you just want to make sure you don't have nothing, no sharp edges there catching anything. All right, let's do the compressor again. They do make a compressor that is just a solid piece and it slides over. It has like a beveled edge and it works perfect. This one, if anybody's ever used these, you know how sloppy they are. But again, we put a little bit of lube on here. And in here, we flatten it out. That's it. We're ready to go into the cylinder. So let me move you guys over there. There you go. I just put this one in. I figured I didn't want to bore you to death. Just want to show you how one of them is done. Pistons 3 and 7 here. So I just tighten this up. I snug it. Now we go over at 15 foot-pounds. Again, sorry for the shaky camera. And our 60 degrees. So I line my 0 up right there, and I kind of hold this because this tool is kind of a piece of shit. Hit for 1. What happens, this arm here moves. This is just plastic, this whole thing, so I lose a couple degrees, so I'll hold this. I gotta get a better one that's all metal is what it comes down to. Okay, that one's 60. Then we move on to the front one. I'm going to move all together. There we go. One. 2. Okay, they're all done. And that's it. Once they're all together, I just kind of spin it just to make sure it feels good. Of course, this wants to move around. I usually do this with 2 hands. But awesome. This tile is freaking strong, I'll tell you that. I've dropped all kinds of shit. You know, I'm in my kitchen here. So but yeah, this is all I do. Just to make sure there's no weird noises. Everything feels good. And then I'll bring that last one up where I need it right there. And that's it, I'm ready to put the last two in. Of course, I'm not going to record this for you guys because I'm sure just watching me do those couple there was boring as crap. But these are my problem ones. So we'll see what happens if I get to torque them down. If they torque down, it'll be good. Well, you don't even, this the 15 foot-pounds is the torque. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about that 60 degrees at the end. That's, and of course the long one is a 6-point. And the one on this is a 12-point. I'm going to have to find a 6-point because this, I know for a fact, is going to slip. So I got to find me a 6-point shallow 11mm. That's going to be my best bet on those. But let me get these together and we'll start putting some heads on.